A legacy of controversy. Donald Trump's troubled past. Donald Trump. The very name evokes strong emotions. For some, he is a successful businessman, a straight talker, and a champion of the people. But for many others, he represents something far more sinister. Trump's history is riddled with controversy, a tangled web of questionable business dealings, discriminatory practices, legal battles, and shocking personal conduct. This video will delve into the dark underbelly of Trump's past, exposing the truth behind the carefully constructed facade. We will examine the evidence, the accusations, and the lasting impact of his actions on individuals and communities. Prepare to be outraged, prepare to be disgusted. This is the story of Donald Trump's controversial past. A house of cards. Trump's business empire built on sand. Despite the glitz and glamour often associated with his name, the reality behind Trump's business ventures tells a different story. Trump has long touted his business acumen, claiming to be a self-made billionaire. He has often portrayed himself as the epitome of the American dream, a man who rose from modest beginnings to build a vast empire. However, a closer look at his financial dealings reveals a pattern of reckless investments, failed ventures, and questionable practices. His business history is littered with ventures that promised much, but delivered little. Trump's companies have filed for bankruptcy multiple times, leaving investors and contractors holding the bag. These bankruptcies have not only tarnished his reputation but also caused significant financial harm to those who trusted him. The infamous Trump University, far from being a prestigious institution, was exposed as a predatory scheme that preyed on vulnerable individuals seeking financial success. Many students were left with massive debts and no real prospects. Trump's casinos in Atlantic City, once glittering symbols of opulence, ultimately crumbled under the weight of mismanagement and debt. These casinos, which were supposed to be the crown jewels of his empire, became symbols of his business failures. He engaged in questionable tax practices, minimizing his tax burden while benefiting from public subsidies. These practices have raised serious ethical and legal questions about his business conduct. The list goes on: Trump Steaks, Trump Vodka, and Trump Airlines, all crashing and burning in a spectacular display of business incompetence. Each of these ventures was launched with much fanfare but ended in failure. Trump Airlines in particular was a high-profile disaster. Despite the initial excitement, it failed to compete in the tough airline industry and was eventually sold off at a loss. Trump's business empire, far from being a testament to his brilliance, is a monument to greed, recklessness, and a blatant disregard for the rules. His legacy in the business world is one of over-promising and under-delivering, leaving a trail of broken promises and shattered dreams. A pattern of prejudice, racism, and discrimination in Trump's history. Trump's history is marred by accusations of racism and discrimination, dating back decades. These allegations have been a consistent part of his public persona, influencing public opinion and sparking numerous debates. In the 1970s, the U.S. Department of Justice sued Trump Management Corporation for racial discrimination in housing, alleging that they refused to rent apartments to black tenants and lied to black applicants about availability. This lawsuit was a significant moment, highlighting systemic issues within the housing market and bringing national attention to discriminatory practices. Trump's response? He countersued the government for defamation, ultimately settling the case without admitting wrongdoing. This legal battle showcased his aggressive defense tactics and his unwillingness to acknowledge any fault, a pattern that would repeat in future controversies. The Central Park 5 case is another chilling example of Trump's prejudice. This case involved 5 young men of color who were wrongly accused of a brutal attack in 1989. The media frenzy and public outcry were intense, and Trump played a significant role in fueling the hysteria. Trump took out full-page ads in New York City newspapers calling for the reinstatement of the death penalty. These ads were inflammatory and contributed to the public's rush to judgment, reflecting Trump's willingness to exploit racial tensions for personal gain. Even after their exoneration through DNA evidence, Trump refused to apologize, demonstrating a callous disregard for justice and the presumption of innocence. His refusal to acknowledge their innocence, even in the face of clear evidence, underscored his deep-seated biases and lack of empathy. His birtherism conspiracy theory, which questioned President Obama's legitimacy based on his race, further solidified his image as a divisive figure fueled by bigotry. This conspiracy theory was not just a political maneuver, It was a direct attack on the legitimacy of the first black president, playing into racist tropes and undermining the progress made in civil rights. Throughout his career, Trump's rhetoric and actions have often aligned with discriminatory ideologies, whether through his policies, public statements, or personal conduct. This pattern has had a profound impact on American society, influencing public discourse and shaping the political landscape. Understanding this history is crucial for recognizing the ongoing challenges in the fight against racism and discrimination. It serves as a reminder of the importance of vigilance and advocacy in promoting equality and justice for all. Ethics. What ethics? A trail of legal and ethical transgressions follows Donald Trump wherever he goes. His disregard for ethical conduct extends far beyond his business dealings and discriminatory practices. He has been accused of misusing funds from his charitable foundation for personal gain, leading to its forced closure and further legal troubles. Numerous contractors have come forward alleging that Trump stiffed them on payments for work done on his properties, leaving small businesses and working-class people struggling to recover their losses. Trump's environmental record is equally appalling, with numerous violations and fines related to his golf courses and other properties. He has shown a blatant disregard for environmental regulations, prioritizing profit over the health of the planet. The sheer volume of lawsuits filed against Trump, both before and during his presidency, speaks volumes about his character and his willingness to exploit others for personal gain. A history of misogyny, sexual misconduct, and toxic masculinity. Trump's treatment of women has been a source of constant controversy. Numerous women have come forward with credible allegations of sexual assault and harassment, painting a disturbing picture of a man who views women as objects to be controlled and exploited. The infamous Access Hollywood tape, in which Trump boasts about grabbing women by the genitals, shocked the nation and provided a glimpse into his deeply misogynistic worldview. Trump's behavior towards women in the public eye has been equally appalling. He has consistently demeaned, insulted, and belittled women based on their appearance, intelligence, and professional accomplishments. His words and actions perpetuate a culture of toxic masculinity that normalizes and excuses misogyny. Trump's treatment of women is not just a personal failing, it is a dangerous reflection of his deeply flawed character. The con continues. Further controversies plague Trump's past. The controversies surrounding Donald Trump extend far beyond the categories mentioned above. His involvement in the Trump Soho project, which faced allegations of fraud and money laundering, raises further questions about his business practices. The Trump Institute, marketed as a real estate training program, was accused of misleading students and failing to deliver on its promises. The collapse of Trump Mortgage in 2007, just as the subprime mortgage crisis was unfolding, left many homeowners facing foreclosure. Trump's hypocritical stance on immigration, while railing against undocumented workers, was exposed when it was revealed that he had employed undocumented workers at his own properties. These are just a few examples of the many controversies that have plagued Trump's past, painting a picture of a man who operates with a blatant disregard for the law and the well-being of others. A stain on America: the lasting impact of Trump's actions. His tenure as the 45th President of the United States has left an indelible mark on the nation. Donald Trump's controversial past is not simply a collection of isolated incidents. It is a series of events that have shaped the political landscape in profound ways. It is a pattern of behavior, a reflection of his character, and a stain on the fabric of American society. His actions have reverberated through every level of government and society. His actions have had a devastating impact on individuals, communities, and the very institutions that uphold our democracy. The ripple effects of his decisions are still being felt today, from the victims of his predatory business practices who have suffered financial ruin and emotional distress, to the women who have accused him of sexual misconduct, who have bravely come forward to share their stories. Trump has left a trail of pain and suffering in his wake. His actions have not only affected those directly involved, but have also sent shockwaves through society. His divisive rhetoric and discriminatory policies have emboldened white supremacists, giving them a platform and a voice they had not had in decades, and fueled a climate of fear and intolerance. Communities have been torn apart, and the social fabric of the nation has been strained. Trump's legacy will forever be intertwined with the erosion of trust in our institutions, the normalization of bigotry, and the degradation of political discourse. The impact on the nation's psyche is profound and lasting, and the degradation of political discourse. The way we communicate and engage in political debate has been fundamentally altered. His story is a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of what can happen when power is unchecked and accountability is ignored. A reminder of the fragility of democracy and the importance of holding our leaders accountable for their actions. The lessons learned from this period are crucial for the future, and the importance of holding our leaders accountable for their actions. It is a call to action for all citizens to remain vigilant and engaged in the democratic process, ensuring that such a chapter in history is never repeated. Pause 2S. The path forward, navigating the future beyond Trump. As we move forward, it is crucial to remember the lessons learned from Donald Trump's tumultuous past. We must strive for a future built on integrity, accountability, and compassion. The challenges posed by his legacy are immense, but they also present an opportunity for growth and renewal. It is a time to rebuild trust in our institutions, to foster a culture of inclusivity and respect, and to engage in meaningful dialogue that transcends partisan divides. The resilience of the American spirit lies in our ability to learn from our history and to work collectively towards a better tomorrow. Let us honor the victims of Trump's actions by advocating for justice and supporting those who have been marginalized. Let us combat the resurgence of hate with unwavering solidarity and empathy. And let us rebuild a political landscape that values truth, transparency, and the common good. The path forward will not be easy, but it is a journey worth undertaking. Together we can create a future where the ideals of democracy are not just aspirational, but a lived reality for all. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please comment, like, and subscribe for more content.